Hi there guys, hopefully you're all doing well. It has been a little bit of a break for me because I have not been able to put out a long form video for probably about 5 weeks now. Been a little bit busy in the workshop working on future videos, and I've not been able to finish them off because I've been stuck doing the day-to-day work, earning the daily pennies to pay my wages. But I have still been filming behind the scenes, so I do have to. I'm going to try and go home earlier today and edit a bigger video together, and also edit this one so you've got something to watch for the beginning of April. So what else has been going on? The 155 is now off the ramp. We'll talk about that one in a minute. We've now got this GTV on the ramp. This had spent a good few years off-road, and I'm just restoring it for the customer. As you can see, I am prettifying the engine bay. I've done loads of rust repairs underneath, and then we're going to be doing the bodywork on it. So I may do another video on another repaint. Not sure, but yeah, this one is coming together nicely. We're just waiting for a bolt set to come now, so we can put some nice shiny new bolts on it. But I did say when the 155 was off the ramp, the 928 would have been on, but unfortunately, needs a must. I need to get that customer's car finished, as well as about 10 other customers' cars which need to be finished. So that is waiting until that GTV is done. Also had this Fiat Coupe for quite a while now, which has had extensive amount of work done on it. I think it's had some rust repairs, all the rust got rid of underneath. It's had a cam belt change, loads of other bits and bobs, and now the wheels are off it, so we can refurbish the wheels, and then we're going to do a little bit of body work on it because we've got a new front bumper to fit to it, some side skirts, and the bonnet needs repainting. This Spider has been the pain of my life for the last 12 months. It originally came in with a knocking engine, sent the engine away to get rebuilt, come back, it was still knocking. Took ages to get the second engine done, and now it's all back together again, but it won't start because of an electrical fault on it. I thought it might have been the ECU gone down on it, but ECU's fine. I literally took the engine out, bolted it back in, 2 connectors, and in between then and then it won't start. So that is going for an auto electrician to have a look at it in a week or so, because I've just had enough of it. I need to get rid of some. I need to get rid of some of these long-term cars. They're taking up far too much room. It's not fair on the customers. They're having to wait far too long because I'm here on my own. I do everything by myself. And I think, unfortunately, I've taken too much work on, and I've had a little bit of a problem getting some cars out the door because they wouldn't let me fix them. Right, next one is the Discovery. We've had that now nearly 2 years, 16,000 miles of relatively trouble-free motoring. We did have one problem at the beginning of winter. The windscreen seal decided it was liking to leak water in on one very heavy rainy night. So at 2 AM in the morning I had to drive it to work with water dripping all over the place and lock it in the unit for a few days until I could get it to dealer. Dealer resealed the windscreen, been fine ever since, but apparently it's a common problem on these and loads of modern cars because, as with everything else, they skimp on the sealant, and the sealant is a lower quality than it used to be, so it doesn't last as long. So yeah, 18-month-old car and it leaks. So yeah, but other than that, I am loving it. It will be going after 2 years, in another 2 years, or maybe another 12 months, we'll see. Because price of diesel is getting ridiculous, and I want an electric car now because I'm fed up of it. So we'll see what happens with this Trump business and whether fuel prices come back to normal, but I highly doubt it, as the disparity between petrol and diesel is now like 30 pence a litre, which is taking the mick. So there's something going on behind the scenes which is making diesel more expensive to get us all out of diesel cars, but we need diesel cars still. Right, what else you see? You've got the Fiat Coupe in the workshop. This has been another pain in the backside. We did loads of work on this last year. Just as we were starting to finish it, the engine decided it was going to pack up, so we've had to get the engine rebuilt in that. That is now all back in with just a few issues. We're having a problem with the power steering belt trying to jump off all the time. So I'm just sorting that out. I'm waiting for another bearing pulley to come so I can push a new bearing in there properly, and then that should be done and gone. You saw the one beneath it as well. That's a 145 Junior, which I'm doing a video on, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. The Punto that I've been working on, that is all finished and welded up. The customer is coming to get that on Thursday, so that's a couple of days till that goes. But yeah, that was all done. That was a proper challenge, that was. I've got some footage now. I shall put that in now. So let's start with this sill. This sill has been replaced probably 3/4 of the way up. I've repainted it and blended it into the panel, and as you can see, you would barely tell that I've even been there. Quite a lot of the floor pan has been replaced. As you can see, it's gone almost halfway across, all the way to the front. and that has been all changed. The back floor pan has been mostly changed as well. We've welded in another seat support panel as well. This side didn't need as much work, luckily, so I've literally had to weld in a little patch up there. And along here, I didn't touch it. Customer didn't want me to replace this just to keep the costs down, which is understandable. So that is staying as it was. Now, the hardest part by far were the rear arches. They were absolutely rotten and so much has been replaced. It's been replaced all along the bottom on this side has been replaced. All at the front there. All up the top there in sort of large patches. All over there and all behind there has all been replaced. And it's almost the same case on this side, except not quite as bad. We've had a lot of welding up the back, up the top there where the fuel filler is, and at the front here, but you can't see much of that because it's all hidden by the fuel filler neck. We've also fitted a fuel tank to it, a plastic fuel tank rather than a metal one, and we were missing a strap, so I have made an aluminium one that should last a lot longer than the other ones. Now, this rear arch wasn't as bad, but I did have to take the fuel tank out to repair it because that's where the filler neck is right there. Done a repair right the way down there. That was a bit awkward to get into. A medium-sized repair up there. Little repair at the front down there. And this was by far the worst one because I had to fabricate everything. Nothing was available to buy, so I've had to make literally everything. So pretty much everything along here has been replaced. I did it in 3 parts. One to go along the back, one to do down here, and then one to go up to the top here because it was just intricate and bended it in a awkward way to make. So I've also repaired a little hole which was here, and then a bigger hole here, and also a repair at the front there. And you can see in the front floor pans the repair inside, and a little repair down there. Now some of you are going to say, well, why haven't you painted it black? Why have you covered it in stone chip rather than painting it yellow? And that's to keep costs down, because this was a very, very expensive repair because of the amount of time that I had to go into just welding. I've done no mechanics on this car. I've done nothing. I've not even looked over the mechanics on this car because I've literally just been welding it. So now it is all finished. I've just got a few mud guards to bolt back on, and the customer can come and collect it. The process of repairing this, it was a case of, let's turn my torch off now. It was a case of cutting out all the rust treating any rust that was left, because there is going to be rust there, unfortunately, because you're never going to get rid of it once it's got in this bad. Repairing the rust treating it again once I put the new metal in, then we'll etch primer it, and then we paint it. I just painted it with aerosol black, so we've got some lacquer in there, waterproofing basically. And then on top of that, I've done a nice thick coat of stone chip just to make sure that it's watertight and nothing is going to hopefully get in either side now. So we'd like to think that this car isn't ever going to get wet again, apart from when you're washing it, because they are an absolute nightmare for rust, as I now know for the second time. So if you want any work doing, I am on Google, but I'll put my email down below and my contact number, so give me a call or send me a WhatsApp message and we can discuss what you need doing. But glad this one's done now. I can have some more room in the workshop to start working on another project of mine, well, 2 of them. And I've not had much time to do videos. It's because I've basically been focusing on doing this and a few other projects, but I have got 3 videos in the works. But they're just taking that long to do, so it's going to be a while to another video, a couple of weeks I think anyway, but so yeah. Now this Brera has been another one which has had like a lot of restoration work done to it. It's a Q4 3.2. We've done all the front end on it now. We just need to get it back in the workshop when I've got a free ramp to do the rear arms at the back and put the front bumper on it and paint a few bits up and stuff like that. So it's getting there with that one now, but unfortunately I haven't had a ramp free for it to sit on for a few weeks while I do all the work restoring the rear end. We've got this Giulia Veloce in, it's the TBI one, automatic. Got a problem with the automatic gearbox. I don't have a clue what's wrong with it. It seems to be struggling when it drops down from 4th to 3rd, but the fault codes that come on the system are saying totally different things, so I don't actually think there's a fault with the gearbox. I think there's a fault with either the wiring or a fault with the ECU on this one, but that is a little bit beyond me, and I think I've done all the messing I can do with that one, so I've got to speak to the customer and try and get him to an auto gearbox specialist or an electrician so we can see what's going on with that. We've got this Julia in the workshop, Quadrifoglio. It was a flood damaged one. It's had another engine fitted elsewhere. I've been to try and work on it, but it needs a battery. I can't do anything because the battery's knackered. It keeps throwing up loads of faults and errors. It won't charge. I've asked the car dealer for a battery, and it's now 2 weeks later and I haven't had one. So getting a bit fed up with that sitting there doing nothing. So if anybody has a free Quadrifoglio, it's sitting outside my unit, but you can't get it to run. Right, what the 147, my 147, it's still there. It'll get done eventually, and yeah, we'll do another road trip eventually. We do want one. I know you guys want to see one as well, and Ed wants to do one as well. So we'll get that in and get that done eventually. What else have we got? We've got 2 more out here. Another project car which I'm doing, which I want to talk about with you before I actually put the video out on that one. So I've still got quite a bit of filming left to do on it. I had this GTV in. Beautiful V6. This was a bit of a funny one to find out. It was having coming as a misfire on the back of an RAC wagon, but it was more of a hesitation top end, especially when it warmed up. So I was like, oh no, it's going to be airflow meter. We put an airflow meter on it, it was still the same. I was like, okay, maybe it might be fuel pump. So I had another spare fuel pump, so I tried a fuel pump. Still the same. So a couple of lambda sensors later, well, I disconnected the lambda sensors. Should have really done it first, but you don't always think of these things, do you? So we put two new lambda sensors on it, and that sorted it right out. So if you ever have a hesitation high up on the revs, especially when it gets warm, chuck a couple of lambda sensors on it and it'll sort it right out. And I've walked away from the second car I wanted to talk to you about. Now this isn't looking very presentable at the minute. It's all dirty because I'm using it myself at the moment, just to make sure it's all mechanically sound. But we got this 500 Abarth cabriolet. It's also the automatic as well. I won't show you any more than that because there is a video coming on it. Now what I wanted to talk to you guys about is that, you know, I've been doing a few cars up to sell on, and they've done pretty well in the viewings ratings, but I'm not actually making any money off them because I'm trying to get them as perfect as I possibly can. And in this current market, actually selling a car and making profit is very, very difficult indeed. So it's kind of like worth me doing those videos because you like to watch them. Don't earn much money off them, but at the end of the day, I need to make money on them as well. So what I was thinking of doing is what every other YouTuber does, and we kind of tested the water with it with this Fiat Coupe that I did a few weeks ago, is raffling it off. So there's going to be a big video on it and it'll be raffled off. So if you guys want to see that on the channel so you can win some of the cars I've worked on, I think maybe that might be the best way to go. So I'm going to sample it with that Fiat 500, a Abarth 500 should I say. That's going to be like, I've got to do all the work, some of the work on it still, and we'll get it all mechanically sound, and we've got to do a bit of paint work on it, titivate it up, make it look pretty, drive brilliantly. And then we should raffle it off in some way, shape or form. So please comment down below on what you think I should do. I think I should give it a go, sort of £2 a ticket, something like that, make some money off it, and then at least you guys can win a free car, yay! What else was there? Oh, the Porsche, that's the other video I'm filming at the moment. I am doing some upgrades on it, and they're turned into rather expensive upgrades as well, but yeah, we want to get the perfect car because I am still absolutely loving the Porsche. I've had it for just over 3 years now, and love it to bits. Don't think I'm ever going to change it. 1, because it owes me too much money. 2, because nobody wants to buy an accident damaged Porsche. And 3, because it's just a fantastic car. So I think that is most of the stuff I've spoken about in the workshop at the minute. So the 155 is now up and running. It is running very poorly. But for ages I was struggling with an electrical fault. We got no fuel pump running and no spark for some reason. I was like, well, they're 2 totally unrelated problems. So I'd struggled with it for weeks. Eventually I bit the bullet. I said, no, I need to get an auto electrician to have a look at it. So I booked it in with an auto electrician. Just as I was loading it on the trailer, I noticed this electrical plug and opened it up with a little bit of a struggle, and we found inside there it was all corroded and pulled off about 4 pins. So when I took it off to restore the engine, I mustn't have seen that when I put it back together. So that was the reason why it wasn't starting. So yeah, now we've just got to work out that last gremlin with the airflow meter. The problem I've got with it is the airflow meter has no power, and it's just idling like that all the time. And the second problem we've got to blow from the exhaust manifold, so that is it at the moment. And then that is just a case of finishing the bodywork off, because I think some of it I could do better on, so I need to do another job on that. And that's it. So next thing is, how are you guys? It's been a while since I've managed to put a video out, so you let me know what you're working on in the description down below as well. And I always try and read every comment and try and reply to as many as I can within the first few days of the video being out. So as it's been a while since I put a video out, I'll try and reply to as many as I can this time. So hopefully you guys are all doing well, and look forward to it's probably going to be a bath video next, then the 145 video, and then a video on the Porsche, because the Porsche is taking a lot longer to do than I thought. And as it's not here, it's at home in the garage, so it's parked there nice and safe. But there's one more big update I want to do to it, just to make it feel a little bit more plush. So that is going to be coming up in a few weeks. And I really just need to start filming some general videos again as well, because I haven't had time really. So that's it. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.